Hey, how are you doing this evening? I'm here to talk about my life story. It is the world believing in a single story about you or what you look like. I would like to discuss my life in a way where you can understand me. So I'll be discussing these topics. I was born in Tampa Bay, Florida, and lived with my mother and father, with my sisters, all older. My name is William Brown, and I'm the youngest out of four of us. And being who I am, how I talk, and my mannerisms has had others treat me differently throughout my life. I remember being a child and my mother putting starter locks, a hairstyle in my head. I was in a black and Spanish community with plenty of others who sport the same hairstyle. After 2 weeks or so, I started to realize how adults started to treat me differently than before. The teachers would blame me for instances that was never a problem of mine prior to my hairstyle. I would get pointed out amongst many others to do tasks nobody else wanted to do. As a child, I did not notice these differences, but as an adult, I realized they were viewing me to be problematic due to my hairstyle being the story of violence. Over time, I eventually cut it, not due to the mistreatment, but more so on the maintenance of keeping my hair the way it is. Now I happen to be a noticeably quiet child. I stayed to myself and out of the way. I did not get suspended, and I went to my classes. I was an obedient kid. I was always outside playing sports or in the woods and messing with wildlife. Early in my life, I found an interest in sports more than anything else. Not until I grew older that I found my interest in other things. I fell in love with repairing and customizing vehicles, a love that took me into enlistment into the Army where I was a mechanic. The Army helped me explore different countries and see how they view Americans. Women in the Middle East would stay away from me not because of my color, but because of my uniform. They were also wearing my tattoos as if getting them must mean you're violent in nature. Middle Eastern women were hard to communicate with in the first place, but the fear of Americans being violent made them distant. We had to make protocols on how to separately deal with the women without disrespecting them or having them terrified of us. I've been a culprit of this same issue. I used to believe the people of Afghanistan were just a crazy bunch that were ready to die for what they believe in. Found out they follow old ways that respect all life, and only a small portion of their population are malicious. Perception is such a thing where first impressions become a permanent impression of who you are. I have been through trials through my life, just like everyone else in this world. To be thought of negatively through perception, stereotypes, and falsified conversation is like taking one's dignity. Thanks for listening to my story.